yours? Oh, there.
Hello.
Okay. I'm Spike.
I'm Chris.
That is Chris. Welcome to another edition of Geekin Out. And we got stuff to talk about first. For those of you who haven't been paying attention, apparently the beloved wife and I are on Facebook, courtesy of the Montgomery County Arts Council, because we actually won a big, well, big as in about 20 people showed up, trivia night.
I'm proud of you.
And we got a bunch of, well, it's for the Arts Guild, so no money for the prizes, but still it was nice being there. So Team 8 Eyes wins its first ever appearance. Undefeated. Right there, so.
Undefeated 8 Eyes.
Undefeated 8 Eyes, yep, that's the team, 8 Eyes. And in case you have to ask, 1, 2, 3, 4 times 2. So, there you go. So, for those of you who are wanting to send along congratulations, feel free to do so. For those of you who couldn't give rat's patoot, go watch something else on Facebook.
Congratulations, Dan. Congratulations.
Yes. Seemed like it was something else we were talking about. Oh, yes. We've got podcasts that have broken by the time this gets posted. We have not recorded one of them yet. We haven't recorded the other one. Scott's Comic Relief. We have a new podcast coming out with Scott.
Yes.
I'm still piecing it together because it needed a little work to be done on it, which, of course, delays it by about 3 weeks. But as soon as I can get it stitched together and posted to all of our podcasts at the Who, What, Where page. If you haven't seen it down here at the bottom yet, you should be seeing it by about now. A list of all the different places you can find our podcasts and our pages and all this other stuff. Still thinking about whether to actually do a web page for Who, What, Where or not, but Geekin Out's already taken, so it's going to have to be whowhatwhere.com if we go through with it. Because who actually has their own website anymore? Everybody goes to Facebook or Instagram or Tinder or one of the others. Why do we not have a Tinder page?
That's social media, right? Dating thing.
Oh, is it? Oh, never mind. I'm 48. What do I know? So anyway,
I'm pretty sure Tinder's a...
I'm 48. What do I know? So, I thought it was one of those social media things.
No. I'm pretty sure it's a dating hookup.
Is that where?
Thing.
Just make sure I swipe right, he swipes left. So, right, yeah. Don't act like you don't know what I just said there. I'm not that ignorant. Anyway. Yes. So we should have Scott's Comic Relief podcast, which is what it's being called. I was going to call it Scott's on the Racks, but apparently everybody just groans when I say that. So much for that idea. We will have a new Chore of Duty podcast up where we discuss the coronavirus, and I explain it's not what you think it is, and there may actually be a hidden agenda to it.
Which if you're like me, you're worried to death about this whole thing. But he says,
spoilers,
chill, relax.
Spoilers. It's the frickin' flu.
Just can't wait to hear this.
Okay, hold on. Spoilers. It's weaponized flu. I'll explain it on the podcast. You can find that at Anchor FM. You can find it on Apple Podcasts. You can find it Google Podcasts. Wherever you get your podcast, odds are you'll be able to find it. Well, I think we're on about 8 podcast platforms right now, the big 8.
Awesome. How many listeners do we got?
3. Just like with YouTube, man. 3 on Anchor. We've got 3 on Anchor. I don't know about the other podcast things, but that's who we've got on Anchor.
That's
and let's be honest, Anchor is not exactly the biggest podcast platform on the planet, but we are getting 3 listens on Anchor.
You know, it's funny because somebody I follow on YouTube, they do podcasts once in a while, and I saw
just like us whenever
they actually on Anchor too. So I was like, hey, there's that Anchor word.
We just do it because we do it on my smartphone, and the app is super easy to use. You press a button, record it, type whatever, and then hit post, and boom, it's done. You don't have to sit here and do like we have to do with these videos. And it's audios and stuff. So anyway, that's enough of that. You got stuff, apparently, that you want to talk about.
Very little bit of stuff. Yeah.
Very little bit of stuff. You want to talk about the new Pluto TV look?
I did not even think about it.
There was a big, huge. There's a big push. Pluto TV. Now we've pimped Pluto TV every chance we get.
We pimped that baby
because
out
it is
a lot.
It's a great alternative if you're streaming. If you're streaming and you don't have Pluto TV on whatever devices, because Pluto TV has almost gotten like Netflix. If you've got a wireless, I don't know, if you got like a wireless coffee maker, odds are you can get Netflix and Pluto to run on it. Difference is Netflix runs well, Pluto usually doesn't. But Pluto has updated their look and they've changed things around. Hallelujah, on Roku you can finally access your favorites list. You can put it together. If you look on the way they've organized it, they put all their categories on the left. So if you just press to the left on your Roku remote and highlight favorites, all the favorites that you heart up and down the channel lineup will be in one spot right near the top. And you can just flick back and forth between them and see what's playing and stuff. And you can actually see what each episode is about. And this is something I've been waiting for. You can actually see what's coming on next and see what it's about. So,
which is weird.
Well done, Pluto TV. You actually achieved basic functionality. Way to go.
Which is weird because when I'm watching Pluto TV and I can't see what's on next, but I want to, I can get on my phone and hit the Pluto app on my phone because it does it. It actually swipes over like 2
Yeah, if you go to Pluto.tv, you don't know what we're talking about because it's always had that functionality. The Roku app, more people stream through Roku than any other device, so it, for some reason, has always been broken. So
now,
it's finally fixed and up and functioning.
Now all they got to do is let it be able to swipe over a little bit more so you can actually and also hit whatever comes on like in 2-3 hours and it records to your favorite. Oh, wouldn't that be nice?
That would be nice.
Just record it that way.
But you're not going to get that on a free app. Anyway,
no.
That's DVR functionality.
Yeah, I know.
That will probably be coming on whatever CBS is coming up with after All Access. Like I said, probably Showtime Max or whatever. Showtime All Access most likely is what it'll be called. Since they already have the rights to it. So anyway, you said you have something.
Yeah, I got a few things in the news. Are you guys ready for this?
No.
No? Oh, you
Go
probably
ahead
won't
anyway.
even care. Anyways.
Go right ahead.
Apparently Steven Spielberg is not going to be directing the new Indiana Jones movie, which is a total bummer. But
Now, the real bummer is they're making another Indiana Jones movie.
well, now, I'm sorry, but I'm an Indiana Jones fan, and I don't mind seeing more, as long as they're not like the last movie that came out. But the person that they did get was James Mangold, and he actually, this dude directed Logan, which is a good movie, and he directed a movie that I actually really did enjoy, Ford versus Ferrari, which was a really good movie. So, this might actually work out okay. As long as we don't have whatever that was in the last movie. That was horrible.
Yes.
But, anyway. Yeah.
Getting nuked in a refrigerator? Yeah, that tends to take it out of you. Yeah.
Oh, that wasn't the only problem with that movie.
Oh, no, that was the one that was the meme-worthy one out of that.
Honestly, I was okay with that. It was the rest of it that I was just like, what? And other than that, we apparently have a Little Shop of Horrors remake being made with 2 Avengers. Yes.
Yeah.
Am I boring you already?
Yes.
Well, too bad. Anyway,
Little Shop of Horrors is a musical, and musicals always suck.
Yeah, well, oh, come on. We
Yes,
love Little
musicals
Shop
always
of
suck.
Horrors.
That's right, Rocky Horror fans. Musicals always suck. I've seen Little Shop of Horrors 3 times in my life. 2 of them were the 1980s remake with Steve Martin and Rick Moranis. and one was the original version in black and white that I only made about halfway through. Never again.
I like the Rick Moranis one. Even though I still, if you guys love...
Hey, at least he's going to do a remake of it, right?
If you get...
Is he in the remake?
No.
Hey, one more reason not to watch it. Go ahead.
What? Wait. I'm not totally done with this story.
I am. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Anyway, he's 2 stars from the Avengers is actually going to be playing the main characters. Scarlett Johansson will be playing, I can't remember her name is.
The girlfriend, yes.
Yes, and Chris Evans, Captain America himself, will be playing Rick Moranis' part. At least I think. They're not quite for sure. He's just been cast. They've both been cast, but they're looking. I think they're looking for somebody to play the dentist or whatever in the movie. Whatever the dentist that was played by Steve Martin, I believe it was.
Well, that's Marvel jumping the shark. Okay.
These guys have to find acting places somewhere.
I guess he got tired of playing. I guess he got tired of making money being Captain America, so he's got to fulfill his.
Well, he's grown old now. He's an old guy now, so he's not an Avenger no more. He's not Captain America no more.
Okay, is that all you got? No,
yeah,
that's all you got.
That's all I got.
Newsweek. It's.
I did have Bob Iger, whatever his name is, leaving Disney, but
Bob Iger.
Bob Iger, but I figured nobody would actually care about that story, so I marked it out.
I actually do. I'll tell you what.
I do too, but
I'll tell you what. Let's do a quick discussion on this one, real quick. Bob Iger on Disney. Okay, Disney has been blessed. Okay, when I was a kid. Back in the
Dinosaur
70s or up to the mid 80s, Disney was a joke. Disney was like MGM but family friendly. It was one of those also-rans when it came to the big Hollywood studios. Okay. When Michael Eisner took over in the early 80s, he was the one who green-lighted Touchstone Pictures, which gave us things like Roger Rabbit, which wound up leading to at least indirectly, to the modern animation renaissance. That's what led to DuckTales, because Eisner basically weaponized the old Disney catalog and said, hey, we got all these Carl Barks comics. You guys want to do cartoons of that? Go right ahead. And that's how we got DuckTales, and then that spun off Chippendale, Rescue Rangers, and the Disney Afternoon.
All the good stuff.
And then he greenlit The Little Mermaid, and suddenly feature animation was a thing again. And he was the one who offered some funding to Steve Jobs to help get Pixar off the ground. And then Bob Iger was the one who came in and took over for Michael Eisner when Eisner basically got tired of hanging around. He left, Bob Iger took over, and it was Bob Iger who was responsible for Disney buying Star Wars. He was the one who was responsible for Disney buying Marvel. He was the one responsible for Disney buying 20th Century Fox, or 20th Century is what they call it now. He's the one who did all the acquisitions here over the last few years. Between those two CEOs, Disney is now the 600-pound gorilla in the cage. So I know there's a lot of people who are talking crap about Bob Iger, but Bob Iger is not like Dan DiDio.
Goodness.
But
your arch nemesis.
Can hate Dan DiDio.
We've been over this.
Let him rot too. If you want to hear me bloviate on former DC co-publisher Dan DiDio, check out Scott's Comic Relief Podcast, Episode 1.
Yeah, he goes off.
I go off on his ass there.
Like his name.
Oh, screw you, DiDio. Anyway, so Bob Iger, I'm going to give you a little clap because it wasn't for you.
Golf clap.
If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have had the Marvel universe the way it is now, cinematic universe. To be honest, Marvel would probably still be struggling trying to deal with its publishing arm. But with Disney subsidizing that, which is another episode we're going to get into here in a minute, we're going to discuss, there were huge developments in the comic book industry. We'll discuss that on this next episode. But for now, I'm going to give Bob Iger some applause and say, well done. Thank you, soldier. Hope the next one's as good as you are. So, you got anything else, big boy?
Do I got anything else?
You got anything else?
No,
You got nothing else? Okay, well, in that
Alright.
case, until we get started with the next episode, which should be about the DC, Marvel, and all that mess, I'm Spike.
I'm Chris.
That is Chris. We'll see you next time on Geekin' Out. And if I can stop pointing this at my belly button, I might actually be able to end this episode.